Good afternoon, everyone. I am thankful and honored to share my story and be part of your panel discussion today. I am Lourdes de la Peña, 46 years old, an ordinary Filipino citizen who belonged to a farmer and poor family. Struggled to finish a degree and dreamed to give my family decent and a good life, especially my mom who is now 84 years old. I finished my college education through the help of my sister who worked as a domestic helper in Hong Kong. After college, I wanted to get a good job, but the competition was very tight. Opportunities were limited and graduates from well-known universities gets the best job offer. I accepted my sister's suggestion to work as domestic helper in Hong Kong in February 2000. Leaving my family to work in Hong Kong means not seeing my loved ones and the familiar places and faces that I used to see. But because of my burning desire to help my family, nothing will stop me. After that, I went to work as a caretaker in Taiwan from 2003 to 2012. In Taiwan, a friend referred me to an agency who picks my papers and lent me money to pay for my 5,000 Canadian dollar processing fee for my application to work here in Canada. And I arrived here on December 27, 2012 with a 2-year work permit and a temporary foreign worker program as a greenhouse worker. To my disappointment, Canada is too far from different from Hong Kong and Taiwan. Together with the 3 other workers, the agent let us work as a mushroom picker and explained further that this job is all year round and assured us that the company will get us a new work permit. We were trained as mushroom pickers in Monahan Mushroom Farm in Campbellville. They provide me 2-bedroom apartment in Cambridge which I have to share with 3 other workers and carpool. That apartment rent and carpool pay were deducted from my salary. Mushroom picking is not easy as domestic work or caretaker work that I used to do. We need to wake up at 4 in the morning so we could prepare our packed lunch, eat breakfast, have coffee, and wait for our washroom turn. The carpool arrives between 4:45 to 5 a.m., travel of 45 minutes, and start to work at 6 a.m. Unlike other vegetables, mushroom picking is more labor-extensive job. Mushroom grows fast and we need to harvest them quickly. That is why we need to continuously pick them until we pick all the ones that are ready to harvest and leave the ones that are not ready for the next day harvest. Working period varies depending on the growth of the mushroom. For the 3 months, we are paid hourly rate but have to reach quota and then they switch us to piecework rate after. Working in a lorry, which you manually push on the side of the mushroom beds, brings in and out your own boxes, cellars, and garbage every day for long hours is very tiring. The demand is so stressful, and most of the time, I can't reach the quota or target peak for the day. The farm policy states that you have to reach your quota and if not, they will give you warnings, then fire you. I get verbal and written warnings. One more warning and I will be fired. My work permit is tied to my employer, so my status depends on him. I'm afraid of losing my job because losing it means losing my immigration status. I do not want to go home because my family depends on me, so I find ways to stay here in Canada. In January 2014, we met another agent in Toronto, the Link for Staff Agency. We told them our situation and that my visa and my work permit will expire soon, so I need help to find a new employer to work with and sponsor me to work here in Canada. They promised that they can help us for they knew a lot of employers, but we need to pay them for processing our papers and their services. They charged me of $20 for the application form and $1,000 for LMO processing and 5,000 more Canadian dollars for processing and service fee. Since we don't have money yet to pay them, they bought us to Ravine Mushroom Farm to work as mushroom pickers and deduct the payments from our salary. They signed us contract with Ravine Mushroom Farm and they said that Ravine has applied for LMOs and they might absorb us if our performance at work is good. The agency looked for a place for us to stay and we moved here in Toronto and live in a bedroom apartment which we share with a couple. The three of us, Jessie and Myla, are one share in one room. We have to pay our rent and pay for the carpool for $15 Canadian dollar every day in order to get to the farm. We start our work at 5 a.m. and finish at 11 p.m. We are piecework rate, a 90 cents per box or cellar or tray, which is around 10 pounds of mushroom. On good days, we were able to harvest 1,000 boxes, but sometimes 70 boxes, but most of the time, we only have 65 boxes. In our first months, we were able to pick an average of 65 boxes a day. Later on, as we hone our skills in mushroom picking, we were able to harvest an average of 88 boxes per day. 65 boxes times 90 cents is $58.5 a day. Times 6 days, we have $351 in a week. Ravine Mushroom Farm pays the link for staff Canadian $1.20 per box of mushroom that we pick. And the link for staff paid us 90 cents per box. That makes a $30 profit for every box that we make. We have to work fast because the faster we do, the more mushroom basket we could fill and the more money we could earn. From the money that we earn every 2 weeks, the agency took the payment for our carpool and the payment for the processing of our papers, and the rest goes for apartment rent, food, phone bills, and remittance. Nothing is left for our personal needs anymore. We have to endure the hardships of carrying our own ladder, garbage bins, and hangers from one mushroom house to another, of crouching to reach the mushroom on the lower and far end of the bed, and the danger of climbing the ladder and the trolley so we could pick on the top, and inhaling the smell of the compost they put to grow the mushroom, especially in the summertime. Often we slip from the ladder and fell into the stinky compost. They even asked me to meet an employer in his house who needed somebody to only clean his house because he was still able and working. They will process my work permit to this employer provided that I will pay the necessary expenses like 1,000 Canadian dollar for the LMO application, $155 for the work permit application, and many others. I agreed and believed that the man has a good heart and willing to help me. He signed my work permit and application, and at last, I personally mailed my work permit application on August 2014. Later on, the guy kept on calling me and asking me when will I come back to his house, that he liked me and he willing to help me more because he was looking for someone to love and marry. The agent know this, that's why they introduced me to him. I was shocked and confronted my agent regarding this matter. She told me to just go with the flow because my papers are in process now. They tried to pander me to someone who acted as my employer. I told the guy that I cannot work with him until my work permit is approved, and I blocked his number so he can't call me anymore. Marisol and I met again, and we talked to her and open about our situation. We found that she too was victimized by this agency. She introduced us to the Migrant Ontario and to Jason, who is Reyes, who is the director of Migrants Resource Center Canada. The global pandemic that we are experiencing now unfolds the importance of migrant workers to the Canadian community and economy. We are the workers who are willing to work in the essential jobs that most Canadians are not willing to take on. You you can see the working in warehouses, food processing farms, home care facilities and grocery stores, taking on jobs like domestic work, cleaning, caregiving, packaging and food attendants. We the precarious workers and or undocumented workers suffer the most. We cannot say no even if we deem that the job is dangerous for us, or most likely we will get the virus because we are working in a crowded workplaces where we cannot practice social physical distancing and with no personal protective equipment. And if we lose our job and cannot work because the company that we work will declare bankruptcy and closes down, we cannot access income support like the EI or and the CERB the government is offering. We are now we are not ready for this pandemic. We are advised to stay home to our safety, not to get the virus. But if we will not, we won't have the money to pay our rent, pay our bills and buy food. And we do not know how long or until when we are going to practice the social and physical distancing. We won't die from the virus, but we will die from hunger and poverty. When I came here in Canada to work, I am not aware of my rights as a migrant worker. I was easily swayed to sign documents and pay exorbitant fees for promise to have a work permit and become permanent resident after working a caregiver. None of these promises came true. I have no work, no status. I feel that I was abused and used by this agency. It is not our fault that we lost our status. We still did everything to maintain it. We are unfortunate that we fall in the hands of the people who have no conscience and opportunists. People who exploit our being ignorant to the law for their own benefit. With the help of Migrante, we find ways to regain our status. We thank them for the work and advocacy to protect and fight for the rights and welfare of the migrant workers. Through learning about migrant situation, trainings and workshops, we learn about our rights as women, as an undocumented worker, and as a human being. With Migrante, I found an ally, friend, and family. They are there when we are so helpless and vulnerable, when we are afraid to go out even to buy groceries, when we are so helpless and vulnerable, when we are too anxious to when we are so anxious to answer and register calls and knocks on our doors, thinking that it might be the CBSA or the police looking for us, arrest us and deport us. Migrante help us regain our self-confidence and self-worth. Now we are not afraid. We did nothing wrong and we are not criminals. Through the help of Migrante and Migrants Resource Center Canada, we were able to seek an advice of the immigration consultant and lawyers who helped us in the application for a humanitarian and compassionate grounds in July 2018 and filed civil lawsuit case against this unscrupulous recruitment agency in March 2019. We were able to launch the Justice for Mushroom Poor, Justice for All Migrant Workers campaign in a press conference on April 10, 2019. J4M4 is a campaign against unscrupulous recruitment agencies here in Canada. We want to get public support and to advocate for policy changes that will protect migrant workers from further exploitation by recruitment agencies and employers and to ensure their rights as a worker and human beings are protected. We are calling on the Canadian government to do the following: license all the foreign recruitment agencies, registered and all employers of migrant workers, and permanent residency for all migrant workers in Canada. We all left our country because of massive unemployment, and we do not have enough income to support our family. We left our family behind because we thought Canada will give us the opportunity to live in a decent life and freedom to express our preferred gender identity. But we suffered enough. Now is the time to stand.